Greetings, Masters! Welcome to my review of FGONA's newest collab event, Lady Reines' Case Files. If you saw my review for Oku, you'll likely be noticing a pretty big change. We're scripted now! While I do enjoy the back and forth chat it gives me on stream, I feel that the reviews need a little more structure. Sad, I know. Seeing as this is my first waltz with scripted content, please cut me a bit of slack. I'm bound to stumble and forget some things along the way. With that out of the way, let's discuss the two core aspects of any FGO event, its story and its overall gameplay. Each of these two crucial aspects will be covered separately. So if you're only here for my story review, as short as it may be, you can find a timestamp to it on the screen now. Enjoy. Alright, gameplay gurus. Case Files is a mission-based event with a spawn adjustment mechanic. Considering the previous event NA had was Guda Guda 3, which is an event featuring the exact same mechanic, you can imagine how annoyed I was at first to learn this. Let me be clear, I enjoy mission-based events. I've been playing RPGs and MMOs my entire life. The missions in these types of events just remind me of the quests I used to do when I'd get off school or over the weekend. I have no problem with them. I enjoy them, actually. My issues typically come from that second thing these two events share: spawn adjustment. An event like Guda 3 had you slap the CE of choice on your team and then fight through upwards of 7 enemy waves. I don't 3-turn farm most events, but even I find this to be beyond tedious. I have a lot of issues with Guda 3, but I think you get my biggest one. The grinding was far too tedious for your average player. Let's give an example real quick. Kill 200 enemies, but you only get 2 unless you slap the CE on. And if you do, you have to fight the entire zombie horde just to make it out alive. By the way, you can't loop farm. You're carding the entire time. Not very fun, is it? Going from that to what Case Files offered was night and day. The rare enemy spawn was such a better take on the system, it's hard to imagine how we had anything else before it. The rare enemy fills an open spot in one of the waves, usually the second or the third. This allows you 3-turn memers free reign to blast away, and keeps the runs quick enough to make carding not feel like a game of Civ 5. This is designed to be something you do during your journey through the event, not really something you actively think about. Slotting the CE in my back row and forgetting about it netted me about 18 kills before Barbados croaked. Considering I farm more than your average Joe for the most part, I can see people being around 10 rare enemy kills by the time the story finishes for them. That's with 1 CE. So if you farm Barbados, you probably have a few extra copies besides the 5 the event gives you. Otherwise, I feel bad for you. So juicing your team up to nearly guarantee rare spawns is an incredibly easy task. This is on top of the game sometimes spawning these enemies regardless of your CEs. They can spawn even if you don't have any CEs on. It's just rare. They aren't mandatory, just helpful. It shifts the overall kill quests from using ludicrous numbers to more down-to-earth caps, while pushing these rare enemy spawns, which almost seem like a treat in hindsight, to be more modest and lower in terms of value. In addition, and I can't even believe I have to compliment this, but Case Files put such a diverse enemy pool in its best shop nodes that you can knock out nearly all, if not all, of the kill missions just by clearing shop. There is a single enemy type, books, that you have to go out of your way to kill, and this seems to largely be a specifically me problem. Most of the people in my chat knocked out books well before the end, whether or not they went out of their way to do it or not. It seems like I was the only one out of the loop. The missions for this event never overstayed their welcome, and I never really felt like I was being asked to do something crazy. They felt like small side objectives as I cleared the nodes and fought through my past mistakes. Now, we can move on to the map, and boy oh boy do I have some words about this map. I understand the flavor, I really do. Please don't flame me, I get what they were going for, but still, this map is damn disgusting to look at. With how pseudo-challenge quests are laid out and used, I really don't even know how they could have made it look any better, but I genuinely hate looking at this god-awful contraption. However, I do really enjoy that the best farming nodes are separated from the rest and put on the far left side of the map. Without looking at an infographic, you can get a solid hint that these 3 isolated nodes might be important. Good stuff. Much better than just slapping them around randomly. But, oh, you thought it was going to end on a happy note. Oh, you're silly. The gold node is positioned in the absolute worst spot in the world. I play on an iPad, and this node is playing hide and seek with the master portrait. Every time I click it, it's like flipping a coin. Do I get the farm, or do I fall on my face and get banished to my room? Who knows? Let's go. Just zoom in, Brody. Quit bitching. I want to bitch. Fuck you. Next up is difficulty. Outside of one mission, I really never felt like I was in a Lost Belt event. Maybe that's due to Bunyan being cracked out of her mind and killing everything with her damage up, especially if you had an MLBK scope, but the challenge was kinda sorta not there. The challenge quests, but not really challenge quests, but also kinda sorta challenge quests, were almost always too easy. While it was very cathartic to one-hit kill Gwen, I can't help but feel like these could have been way more enjoyable if they were scaled up closer to true Lost Belt fights, or if, in Gwen's case, the first fight against him in Camelot. This event was so close to feeling like a beautiful off-season fest event that I kind of wish they went for the extra oomph and sent it over the edge. The main story's fight against Cyberpunk 2021 was the only fight in the whole event I felt the slightest bit of pressure from. I didn't use my comma and my jack, I'm gonna be clear about that. But even still, it wasn't really a crazy fight by any means, and I'm sure a strong group of people cleared it first try with no issue, especially if they had comma and jack. But man, was it fun to watch Carey get the final kill on CD Projekt Red's reputation with his MP. An incredibly fun experience that was far too short. The opposite of a Ubisoft title. And finally, we have raids. No, not like the MMO ones, I genuinely really miss those, but the FGO raids that take JP half a breath of oxygen to clear NNA longer than the final runtime of One Piece. I cleared Barbs 330 times. I like to think I did my part, but some of you guys in chat really make me feel small. The drops were great, so if you chose to dump some apples there, I'd say you made the right call. In addition, there were a plethora of teams that could one-hit him, free-to-play and whale alike. I built a few on stream, and people kept feeding me more on stream and in my Discord after the fact. I would say the raids were a resounding success, but I wish Barbs would have capped off the event, not come before the end. I wish people would have had access to full power Gray for this fight. You could have her at max ascension, but you were locked at MP1. I would have loved to experiment with full power Gray, especially since she had a niche that's perfect against him. I feel like this was a missed opportunity to make a welfare truly shine in their debut event. If this event ever reruns, I'll be sure to see how far I can push her, and I hope you guys do too. And now we've made it to story. If you made it through the slog that was gameplay, congrats, you made it through the bulk of the video. It gets much quicker from this point forward. The TLDR of everything I'm about to say is I'm disappointed but understanding of why decisions were made and why the story went in the route that it did. I've seen some people say the story felt slow, which I agree with. However, this event was meant to be a mystery, which means, by extension, that it will be slower than something we're typically more used to. When I first heard that we were getting this event, I was excited for the story. Twists and turns while unraveling the big bad using our big brains. Waver being killed at the start and us having amnesia was such a great hook. I was genuinely in love and excited to see where it went. I paid so much attention to all the little small things, trying to find the cracks or the missteps by characters along the way. The reveal didn't need to be huge, but I was expecting it to make sense and be in theme with what we were seeing. Yet we fast forward to the ending and I can't help but feel, well, a little bit cheated. I don't have a problem with Mom. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Trust me, I don't want to butcher it. I like the use of Da Vinci. I even like the little farewell she got thanks to Reines at the end. Maybe I was expecting a different kind of twist than what I got, which in hindsight I definitely was. And the one we got isn't bad or anything, I just feel like it ended up making Mom a rather boring antagonist. I didn't feel a connection to her, nor did I really feel like the narrative did well at all in setting up who she was. Such an interesting idea boiled down to a backstory monologue seconds before the final fight. Normally I wouldn't bat an eye to it, it's tradition in anime really, but the premise of the story led me to expect something more. The standout part of this story was the fake Mashi reveal. Something felt off about it, but I was so engrossed trying to find which of the new characters was spinning yarn, I didn't even think about searching closer to home. I'm still not a fan of the reasoning behind why Waver came back, but that's really a small gripe in the grand scheme of all of my issues. However, I am willing to admit I might have missed things. I know JP still hasn't gotten a rerun, so who knows when I'll be given a good reason to revisit this story. But I admit I might have messed up somewhere along the way and missed some crucial setup or some justification for why things happened the way they did. I did look for things that ended up not being there in the end, so my attention might have been somewhere else. To wrap up, Case Files was a really solid event with a very well-structured mission list, a great raid to farm, and anywhere from a so-so to good story. The new characters had ample time to leave a solid impression, and I can very much see myself using them down the road just for fun thanks to this alone. Now let's assign arbitrary numbers to get people really mad at me. Gameplay gets a 9 out of 10. This is the best we've seen from a mission system, and it had a great raid to boot. But the prospect of interesting and hard memory fights not turning out to be hard or interesting is one of the bigger missteps this event made in terms of, well, gameplay. 9 is still a great placement from me, and I could easily see this being a 10 for some people. However, I will admit this event might have ranked higher or lower depending on your fatigue levels. DW chose to unload multiple mission events in quick succession, and that will lead some people to think differently of this event strictly due to that. Story, on the other hand, is going to sit at a solid 6 out of 10. I still view 6 as a passing grade, much like the American high school grade system. I personally felt far too much let down by the mom twist and its explanation. The characters and their interactions were still great, Reines herself being standout. Don't flame me, 6 is still passing, 5 is when I start to view it as a failure. Considering you need both great gameplay and a great story to make a truly great event, it's only fair that we factor both of these into the final score. I would give Lady Reines' Case Files, an FGO Case Files collab event, a cumulative score of 7.5 out of 10. I don't think there is a solid argument to be any higher than 8, but I do think there is an argument to be 8. You can see my Gouda 3 and Oku placements on screen as well if you need some, I don't know, visual stimuli. And with that, it's over. This part isn't scripted. This is kind of just off the cuff. Really just wanted to say thanks. This is the first time I've ever done everything from start to stop, write up the script after I think about the script, run a draft or two. Definitely feel like I messed up along the way. Reading it and watching it back now, oh man, I can already see mess ups. But if I'm a perfectionist, so I'm gonna be stuck here for 9 years. Unless I actually just commit to this and push it out, and I really want to do that. It's my first parlay with this. I'm gonna mess up. So hopefully, as I do this, as I keep doing this, these get better. I learn how to edit more. This all just kind of comes together in a really, really cohesive, not mess in the future. With that said, I apologize for some of my choppy editing. And yeah, I didn't do Gouda 3. I reviewed it on stream, and it was an absolute nightmare. It was just a mess. There was no way I could salvage it like I did Oku, which is kind of what led me to start doing this. So, Gouda 3 being bad in general, it just pushes us to greater things. Next up is the Jalter event. I'm not gonna review that. It's just story. Gameplay's a 0 by default, and story's anywhere from 1 to 10, who knows. So the real next event is either Summer 3 or Gouda 4, depending on what DW pushes first. So hopefully if you liked this, I'll see you then. And if not, thanks for watching and listening to me anyway. If you want to come watch me on stream, it's twitch.tv/Broday. Consider dropping a like, dropping a sub, swinging by the stream, dropping a follow, or just coming to hang out. Yeah, but see ya.